learning objective for today's video is, can I recognise and use squared and cubed numbers? Now, a squared number is a whole number that's been multiplied by itself. 4 and 9 are both squared numbers. We can tell this because they both make a square. 4 has been made by multiplying 2 by itself to make 4. 9 has used 3 multiplied by itself to equal 9, showing that 4 and 9 are both squared numbers. In your arithmetic, you're quite often asked to square a number, like this. It's got a small 2. That means to the power of 2. To put it simply, means that you multiply 4 by itself. So you do 4 times 4. If you've been practicing on times tables rock stars, you should know your times tables really well. So that 4 times 4 equals 16. Therefore, 4 squared equals 16. Really simple concept if you know your times tables. What I'd like you to do next is I want you guys to have a go at 7 squared and 5 squared. Pause the video while you calculate it and then come back to it and we'll go through the answers. Let's begin by looking at 7 squared. 7 times 7 equals 49. So 7 squared equals 49. For 5 squared, 5 times 5 equals 25. So 5 squared is 25. Hopefully you found that concept quite easy. Let's move on to cubed numbers. So a cubed number looks slightly different because it's got a small 3 in the corner, and that 3 means to the power of 3. So this time we times it 3 times. So we end up with 6 times 6 times 6. First part, we use our times tables. 6 times 6 is 36. For the next part, timesing by 6 again, I always use the multiplication method and put it into a long multiplication method like that. Now, if you're a bit unsure of this method, we've got a video on the Year 5 section that you can have a look at to refresh yourselves on how to do this. So let's have a look at the first one. 6 times by 6 is 36. So we put the 6 in the units column and we carry the 3. 3 times 6 or 6 times 3 is 18, but we need to add the 3 on here, so that's going to be 21. So we put the 1 in the tens column and we end up with 216. Therefore, 6 cubed is 216. Using that same idea, have a go, pausing the video again, have a go at 4 cubed and 9 cubed. Restart the video when you want to check through your calculation. Starting off with 4 cubed. We have 4 times by 4 times by 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Times by 4 again. So 4 times 6 or 6 times 4 is 24. Carry the 2. 1 times 4 or 4 times 1 is 4. Add the 2 is 64. So 4 cubed equals 64. Let's have a look at 9 cubed next. So we have 9 times by 9 times by 9. 9 times 9 is 81. We need to times it by 9 again. So this time we do 9 times 1, or 1 times 9, is 9. Next we do 9 times 8, or 8 times 9 is 72. So we end up with 729. 9 cubed is 729. Cube numbers and squared numbers often come up in arithmetic questions, so it's worth remembering cubed means multiplying it 3 times. Squared means multiplying it by itself twice. Moving on to something a little bit trickier. We're going to have a look at how to use squared and cubed numbers in a problem. So here we've got 4 squared add 3 equals, and we're looking for the answer. Now you're going to need to do 2 calculations to work this out first, but now we can recognise squared numbers, we should know that 4 times 4 equals 16. So we simply replace 4 squared with 16 in this sum here. We can then do 16 add 3. 16 add 3 is 19. So 19 is our answer. We just need to remember to square that number first before finding out the answer. So I've got one for you to try here. I'd like you to have a go at 6 squared, subtract 10. Pause the video, calculate, and then come back and check. We need to do 6 squared first. So 6 times by 6 equals 36. So we replace 6 squared with 36. The rest of the sum stays the same. So we end up with 36 subtract 10 is 26. So 26 is our answer. Let's move on again and let's challenge ourselves just that little bit more. This time we've got 7 cubed add 5 squared. This means you're going to need to do a little bit more before you get to the final answer. Pause the video and using the knowledge gained from squared and cubed numbers, see how you get on. Okay then, let's see how you got on. So first of all, we need to work out 7 cubed. So we need to do 7 times by 7 times by 7. So 7 times by 7 is 49. And because we've got a cubed number this time, we need to times by 7 again. So 7 times 9, or 9 times 7, is 63. And we carry the 6. This time we've got 4 times 7, or 7 times 4, which is 28. But this time we need to add the 6, which is 34. So we get 343. So we replace this part of the sum with 343. Let's have a look at 5 squared then. So because it's a squared number, we times it by itself. 5 times 5 is 25. So this part of the sum becomes 25. So what we actually end up with is 343 add 25. We can put this into a normal column addition method. So 3 add 5 is going to be 8. 4 add 2 would be 6. We haven't got anything to add to 3, so that stays the same. So 7 cubed add 5 squared equals 368. Hopefully you got on with those problems okay. Look out for them when we go back to school. Fingers crossed, you can now recognise and use squared and cubed numbers.